How did I make a game in 48 hours? Ludum Dare 46 challenged developers from all around the world to create a game alone from scratch within 2 days using the theme Keep It Alive. And this is how I made the tale of the lumberjack who did not want to cut trees in 48 hours. First, I needed to get an idea. Keep it alive, but what to keep alive? An animal? A fire? An alien? No. I chose to make a game about keeping trees alive. The concept I had in mind was to make a puzzle game where you are a lumberjack but still love trees and wants to keep one alive. The gameplay and mood of the game are inspired by Monument Valley 2. With that idea in mind, I quickly started to create a prototype. The first thing that needed to be done was movement. I originally thought of a point-and-click system that would involve using pathfinding, but quickly realized it would be too hard to get working within the time constraint. I therefore decided to go with a simple arrow keys movement. The way it works is that every workable surface has got a work point script attached, and the player script seeks the closest workable surfaces nearby. This system turned out pretty solid and flexible since it allowed me to easily create verticality. Then I needed to create the main mechanic for the game, trees. I needed to be able to select a tree to keep in each level. For that, I created a raycast coming from the screen on mouse click using the camera.screenPointToRay function. The raycast then checks for tree colliders in the layer mask trees. I made an animation of the trees falling over. I added a walkable surface on the side of the tree that would get enabled when cut, and on the other hand, a walkable surface on the top of the tree that would get disabled when cut. This allowed for interesting puzzle mechanics. You can walk on the top of a tree while it's standing, but not when it's cut. And cut trees can be used as bridges. I also needed to add a way to rotate the camera. I added a simple camera script along with some animations to get a smooth rotation. Then I needed to make some art. This was an extra challenge for me, because it was the first time I was making a 3D game for Ludum Dare. I went for a simple low poly art style. I modeled a simple tree, the player, the father, a house, and some props. Even though I originally wanted to fully rig and animate the player, I quickly realized it would be too time consuming and decided to make a simple squash animation for jumping, just like in Crossy Road. This is the kind of decisions you need to quickly make when you only have 2 days to finish your project. I found the squashing animations pretty cute and decided to apply them to the trees as well. And to the house too, for some reason. I have no idea what I'm doing. I made some music. I wanted to keep it very simple and chill to fit the relaxing mood of the game. I threw together a bassoon, a flute, some bells, kicks, snares, hats, and voila! Music is definitely not my strength, but at least I'm able to make a simple track when needed. I added a little bit of UI. I used a handmade font and TextMesh Pro to display some simple instructions on how to play. I made some cutscenes to add a bit of backstory. I made a simple script that uses a coroutine to display the letters one by one. To show which character is talking, the simplest solution I had left was to make the camera focus on the character who was talking. I added an endpoint. When reached, it simply loads the next scene. I added a bit of post-processing, some bloom to highlight the tree that is currently selected, to provide a bit of visual feedback to the player, and a vignette that slightly darkens the corners of the screen. Now time for level design. In a puzzle game like this one, level design is obviously key. I spent some time making 8 unique levels, which are designed to be rather easy. The game is meant to be relaxing, not too challenging. But after making these levels, I realized that the game was a bit too short, and that I couldn't make more levels without getting repetitive because of the lack of mechanics. That's why I implemented a new mechanic, movable blocks. These blocks can be moved to a specific location by pressing space, and it works perfectly. Yeah, I guess. So to avoid this issue and move the player when it's on a block, the player transform gets parented to the block when it detects that it's standing on a movable walkable surface. This mechanic adds a bit of depth and complexity to the next levels. It's also interesting to add trees on blocks. Therefore, I was able to design 7 other levels with this new mechanic for a total of 15 levels, which is already pretty solid for a game made in 2 days. The deadline was getting closer and closer. I spent a lot of time fixing hundreds of glitches and issues. I wrote the scripts for the cutscenes, I added a few props on the levels, rocks, bushes, fences, a sign, an axe, and even a squirrel. Yeah, come on, it's supposed to be a squirrel, don't judge me. I finally got the game done before the deadline and managed to upload a working web build on itch.io. Yay! The game is far to be perfect. There are no sound effects, movement is unresponsive, music is too repetitive, but overall I'm really happy with this project. I challenged myself to make a 3D game in 48 hours and I'm glad I succeeded. Thanks for watching! You can now play and rate my game The Tale of the Lumberjack Who Did Not Want to Cut Trees in the description if you haven't already. I'm Thomas Bringer, a 19-year-old game designer from France. See ya!